All of you in the back, come on, you can find seats. I know we've got plenty of seats here. Hey, isn't it great to be together? No Zoom. We don't have any pictures up here of people that are calling in. It's great. Thank you all for being here. Let me get to my notes. Good evening. Welcome to the 35th Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge annual meeting. It is great to get everybody here and finally see people out here and be able to talk to them downstairs. And I think we had a great turnout tonight, and I thank all of y'all for getting out and coming down here and being with us. 2019 was our best year ever in tourism business, in the income and tax receipts and everything that we generated with visitors coming in here, which capped off 10 consecutive years of record growth. And 2020 was really, we had enough business booked to break $1 billion. Huge. We've never been close. And a little thing called COVID-19 hit us. And it's impacted all of us, and I know it's impacted everyone in this room, but it really hit the tourism and particularly the hotel and restaurant business hard. And thankfully, during the pandemic, our many sports tournaments, from softball to disc golf, that were made possible by our jurisdictional partners and parks and rec divisions, made a strong difference in keeping the industry activated. We did have sport teams coming in here, didn't have any business meetings. Our incredible Metro Mountain outdoor offerings, including the Sport Park, the James River, and Smith Mountain Lake, made a positive difference during that time and allowed us to stretch our legs and not stay in isolation. During 2020 and 2021, if you were looking for a bike to buy, a canoe to paddle, or a cabin to rent, it was hard to find. Everybody wanted to be in the outdoors. During the pandemic, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge and our industry found new and creative ways to bring visitors and locals together safely. As you leave tonight, we encourage you to take a look at the 2020, no, we didn't make a mistake, that's the last one we've had printed, 2020 annual report that is in your gift bag to see some of what was done to help our industry survive and thrive. We're grateful for all of those who have helped Visit VBR get back to our feet, bring visitors back to our region. We're especially grateful for our governmental partners. We couldn't do this without them. The City of Roanoke, Roanoke County, City of Salem, Botetourt County, and Franklin County. Our governmental partners provided grants and other funding necessary for the industry recovery and have us doing very well in 2022. I'd like to recognize our local governmental leaders who are with us tonight. Please hold your applause until I introduce these leaders, and I ask that they please stand and remain standing. And let me get to my list very quickly. We have with us, excuse me, Bob Cowell from the City of Roanoke, Vivian Sanchez-Jones from the City of Roanoke, and Trish White-Boyd from the City of Roanoke. Bill Jones from the City of Salem. John Saunders was here with us, but he had to leave. Jim Wallace is here with the City of Salem. Gary LaRue with Botetourt County. Dr. Max Scotthorn with Botetourt County. Chris Whitlow with Franklin County. Doug Blunt with Roanoke County. Richard K. Wood with Roanoke County. Martha Hooker, Roanoke County Board of Supervisors. Paul Mahoney, Chairman of Roanoke County Board of Supervisors. David Radford is with us, and Billy Martin made it with Botetourt County Board of Supervisors. Let's have a round of applause for all these people. I will tell you, we're the only place in the state of Virginia that has the kind of agreement that we have with these governmental partners to be able to make this happen. I'm not saying other localities don't try to work together, but we have a written agreement that allows us to look ahead and do things that make it better here for everybody. And everybody else is like, how can you do that? We couldn't do it without these governmental partners. And I thank every one of them for what they do, their boards of supervisors and city councils that are involved. We also, we also have a guest with us tonight that we wouldn't be sitting here talking about cycling if she wasn't here, and that is Rita McClenny, who is head of Virginia Tourism and has a big stake in what we're doing here and is absolutely one of our biggest supporters. Thank you, Rita, and we love having you with us. And one of these people that I let get off this board just because she got some job with a federal official or something is Elda Stanko Downey, who is in Tim Kaine's office. Elda, glad to have you. So let me get down. Visit VBR has an incredibly dedicated board of directors who are committed to the organization, industry, and the betterment of our region. I would like to ask all members of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge Board to please stand and be recognized. There are also several of our board members who have recently completed their terms on Visit VBR's Board of Directors this past June, and we'd like to recognize them and ask them to come forward and let us thank them for their service. This is going to, I got to do a trick here. John Carlin, please come forward. Mark Lucas, please come forward. Let me go get you. John, thank you very much for everything you've done with us. Mark, thank you. Get over here. We got a photographer in there. I got a photo here. Don't y'all love these shirts? Yeah. Also, David Anderson and Lisa Garst have been serving with us, and they were unable to make it tonight. For the remainder of the evening, it's my pleasure, and probably y'all's pleasure too. I get to bring our evening MC in here to take care of the rest of the program. Believe me, he's a lot better than I am. Great friend of mine who I've worked with on a lot of different things and a strong supporter of everything going on in Roanoke. Our MC, who is a WSLS Channel 10 anchor and reporter, I'm not sure y'all know who I'm talking about yet, but a recent former member, it gives it away, our board of directors, and co-chair for Visit Virginia's Bicycling Advisory Committee. John Carlin, please come up and take this over from me.
Okay. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that. I like I told the folks that they pulled my cycling picture from my Strava account. It was the one night I was riding my wife's bicycle. My bike went in the shop, and I said, well, you know, Mary, I think if I just raise the saddle a little bit, So there I am with my wife's bicycle. But anyway, appreciate that, Tony. Thank you so much. Lee, Wilhelm, thank you. Honestly, you and the team at VBR together are really what makes this thing tick. And on behalf of everybody here tonight, I just want to thank you for being such a driving force for the success of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. So let's hear it for our chair, Lee Wilhelm. And when we talk about that success, we can look at the sponsors for tonight, and I'm going to list them because that's what you do with sponsors. But what's important is that we note that these are the people that are supporting what's important to you, to all of us. And I can tell you tonight that we have a record number of sponsors for this evening's annual meeting. So let me go through the list. You see the logos here behind me. I'm sure you'll recognize them, but these are the folks that are really involved in our community and helping spread the message of what a cool place it is to come to Virginia's Blue Ridge and to recreate, do business, etc. And we'll start out, these are in alphabetical order: Access Advertising and PR, American National Bank and Trust, Avid Hotel, the Baymont Inn, Berglund Automotive Group, Boone Homes, Botetourt County, Cardinal Bicycle, Center in the Square, City of Roanoke, City of Salem, Entree, Focus One, Foti Flynn and Loan, Franklin County, Freedom First Federal Credit Union, Gentry Lock, Hamler Curtis Funeral Home, Hotel Roanoke and Conference Center, Lanford Brothers, Lionberger Construction, I told you it was a long list, Mac and Bob's Restaurant, Martin Hopkins and Lemon, Member One Federal Credit Union, McNeil Roofing, Q99, Roanoke Blacksburg Regional Airport, Roanoke Regional Partnership, Robertson Marketing, Rockydale Quarries, Roanoke College, Roanoke County, the Roanoke Times, Virginia Business, Virginia Tech, page 3, Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine, I sound like Paul Harvey, Virginia Tourism, Virginia is for Mountain Lovers, WDBJ 7, WFXR, WWCW, Woods Rogers, WSLS 10, that's right, and my good friends where I spent 20 years on the board at YMCA of Virginia's Blue Ridge. How about a big round of applause for our record number of sponsors tonight? Additionally, we have a couple of other thank yous, and this is very important. First of all, a very special thank you to the outstanding team at Access. They have been all over this event and all over promoting the bicycles opportunities you'll be hearing about tonight. So let's put it together for Access. Also, some other folks that really need special recognition: Lighting Ninja, McAteer Meeting Management, Midnight Blue, our band tonight, McCula Harris Marketing, Pumpernickel Pickle Catering. Those guys are good, I'll tell you what, I've had their food. Roanoke City Marketing Building Staff, and also Stage Sound. Could we get a round of applause for them as well? All right, it is a tradition at the Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge annual meeting where we recognize those who have positively impacted the region, and we do this by providing 3 annual awards. And the first award is the Tourism Ambassador Award. The annual award is presented to an individual for outstanding dedication toward the promotion of tourism within the region. It has been now, of course, Lee mentioned this little thing called the pandemic, so 3 years since we've all been together. Therefore, on this award, we'll be giving an award for 2020, 2021, and 2022. It has to happen this way, folks. We're all back together again. So, for 2020, the winner has long been an advocate for the region. Her more than 27 years of service has not only positively impacted the tourism industry, but all industries within our economy. Her leadership with legislative advocacy helped craft Visit VBR's unique funding formula that has seen our industry flourish. And at this time, please join me in recognizing the soon-to-be retired Joyce Waugh, the president of the Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce. Joyce. We could have just a Joyce Waugh night tonight, and everybody would have a great time, and it's well deserved. Thank you, Joyce. For 2021, the Tourism Ambassador Award goes to a leader who was essential to the success of our first ever Ironman event. The region worked diligently to find the best route from the swim area at Carvin's Cove and the biking area linked to the Blue Ridge Parkway, and Botetourt County needed to be essential for that part so we could get the triathlon's bike route established. And Dr. Matt Scotthorn, who at the time was the chair of the Botetourt Board of Supervisors, immediately saw the importance of the event, and he led the effort to make Ironman a success by securing the bike route through Botetourt County. And if you've ever ridden that bike route, I'm not sure how happy I am about it. But be that as it may, it's actually a wonderful route. And Dr. Scotthorn, please come forward to accept the award on behalf of Botetourt County. Now, you know that route, it starts out so nice, you're going along, nice, Route 11, beautiful, easy, and then you get that climb out of Buchanan to the Parkway. Wonderful, yeah, a wonderful thing, isn't it? And when, yes?
I'm going to add one thing. I was looking at this guy that rates all the climbs in Ironman,
All right, a guy who rates all the climbs in Ironman.
and that climb was rated the #1 in the world.
#1 in the world. #1 most what? Difficult, yeah. You know, you get on your tri-bike, you got these handlebars out in front of you, the idea is just go, and then you got to go up that mountain. And then you get to the parkway and it keeps climbing for another mile. Not that I'm bitter. The Tourism Ambassador Award for 2022 goes to a leader who, thanks to the support of the VBR 2024 team at the end of 2021, actually assisted us in booking a tremendous opportunity in Virginia's Blue Ridge. Because of the war in Ukraine, USA Cycling could no longer use a military base in Florida, which meant that the USA Cycling Amateur Road National Championship had to find a new home in less than 5 months. So, when presented the opportunity, Dr. Richard Bailey, who is chair of the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors, immediately agreed that Botetourt County should host the championship. Botetourt provided all the necessary resources, EMS, Sheriff's Department, Parks Department, etc., to make a hugely successful event happen. Now, Dr. Bailey, unfortunately, could not be here with us tonight. Accepting the award on his behalf for Botetourt County is Gary LaRue, the county administrator. Gary. Thank you, Gary. Good to see you. All right, our second recognition award tonight, and I think we're back on pace for doing it in the year that it actually happens. That's right. Okay, very good. He's the chair. I just read the words. Okay, here we go. The annual award is presented to an organization or individual to celebrate their contribution to the growth and development of the tourism industry within Virginia's Blue Ridge, as well as recognize the economic benefits derived as a result. Virginia's Blue Ridge is known for hosting a variety of sporting events, and during the pandemic, athletes and spectators traveled to our region to enjoy our outdoors and, of course, the many sports facilities and venues that we are so fortunate to have. One of the first major region-wide sports events was, of course, the already mentioned Carilion Clinic Ironman 70.3 Virginia's Blue Ridge during June 21 and 2022. Hosting the only Ironman event in Virginia would not have been possible without the support of Carilion Clinic. In an effort to support diversity, equity, and inclusion, Carilion Clinic was the first company in the region to eagerly support, with a gold medal level sponsorship, the Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024 women's cycling team as well. And that's why the Golden Star Award is being presented to Carilion Clinic tonight. And here to accept the award is Shirley Holland, the VP of Strategic Planning for Carilion Clinic, and also the Secretary of the VBR Board of Directors. Thank you, Shirley. The third and final award is the Visit VBR Past Chairs Award. Now, this recognition is presented to an individual who exemplifies leadership, service, and commitment to the tourism industry within Virginia's Blue Ridge and the Commonwealth of Virginia. The award recognizes an individual's achievements in developing and promoting our great industry. Now, while we have focused on our sports and our outdoor offerings in the region, especially considering tonight's event where we are somewhat cycling focused, what makes for an attractive destination is the Metro Mountain experience and the variety and diversity that is offered for people once they get here to hike, ride their bike, kayak, do whatever it is they want to do. Our region is truly blessed to have arts and cultural attractions that enhance the quality of life for residents and, of course, offer enjoyable experiences for our many visitors. Now, while struggling with all of the challenges that the pandemic brought us, there was a leader in our community who was determined to continue highlighting our many offerings in the arts and in the cultural community. This leader decided it was important to showcase the organizations who offer a variety of visual and performing arts here in Virginia's Blue Ridge. The Roanoke Arts Pop highlighted the wealth of diversity of arts available for our local residents and for visitors. The leader brought Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth E. Carter's Afrofuturism in costume design to Roanoke and backed a community effort through this artist and exhibit to support historically black colleges and universities. This visionary leader, who is winning the Past Chairs Award, continues to lead in our community toward more diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you to Cindy Peterson, the Taubman Museum of Art's Executive Director. And she is not with us tonight, but accepting the award on her behalf is Sonny Nelson, Deputy Director of Marketing and Public Relations with the Taubman Museum of Art. Sonny. We have a dedicated Visit VBR team that works hard each and every day to build and promote Virginia's Blue Ridge as a dynamic regional destination. And we want to recognize some folks tonight who have been doing this for a long time, and they deserve some public recognition. So I would like them to stand and be recognized, please. First of all, let's see the whole team stand right now and be recognized. If we could have all our Visit VBR staff stand up. And then I got a bit ahead of myself, but we have several team members who have reached important employee anniversaries and milestones during the pandemic, and we've asked them to come up and actually be formally recognized. So please, let's hold your applause, but if you would please come forward as your name is called. Marley Richardson, 5 years. Shannon Terry, 5 years. David Aldridge, 10 years. Landon Howard, 10 years plus. I think it's 12 years actually. Heidi Bowling, 25 years. And Jane Smith, 25 years. Let's give them all a big, huge round of applause. Wow. And these guys, I tell you what, they deserve it. They deserve every bit of applause that they get tonight, because that is a hard-working group of people. All right, this evening, and I'm so excited because I'm a recreational cyclist. I absolutely love it, but I just love the kind of way tonight came together with some cycling focus. And we are celebrating an initiative that was started really less than a year ago when the Roanoke Times president, Sam Worthington, who is new in our area, introduced Visit VBR to Nicola Cranmer, who is the general manager of Team 2024. And this is a transcendent thing for our area. Nicola arrived here from Boise, Idaho, and had never been to this part of Virginia. And as a result of this meeting, the all-women's professional cycling team is now based right here in Virginia's Blue Ridge and has added their name to our brand. And I know it says that they've added their name to our brand. I think we've actually added our brand to your name, but we definitely, you're the race car, we put our name on the side of it. Now, as you may know, Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024 is America's premier women's cycling team, empowering women and young girls to develop and thrive as world leaders, championing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and belonging not only in the sport of cycling, but in occupations, cultures, and all aspects of their lives. Now, this team, and every time we talk about it on the news, we're trying to figure out the best way to distill this, because we have to do stories in 20 seconds or less. So we're trying to say, this is a big deal. How do you say it's a big deal in 20 seconds or less? But I can tell you that this team has won more national, world championship, and Olympic recognition and medal placements than any other development team in America and perhaps the world. Let's give them the first of many rounds of applause. And we will be hearing more about them in just a little bit, but I have to tell you that this could not have happened. This relationship, this partnership could not have happened without a very key supporter, and that is the Commonwealth of Virginia, who is a major financial sponsor and partner. The Virginia Tourism Corporation's president and CEO, Rita McClenny, immediately grasped the value of this team moving to Virginia and Virginia's Blue Ridge, and without Virginia tourism, this team initiative would have seemed and perhaps been insurmountable. So it is my pleasure at this time to introduce to you Rita McClenny, President and CEO of the Virginia Tourism Corporation. Ms. McClenny.
Thank you, John, for that kind introduction. I'd like to thank our state lawmakers for their support of tourism and economic development and putting together the resources to make Virginia the best place to live, raise a family, work, and to, of course, travel. And this happens with this entire room because together we are stronger. And this initiative has really set a path in recognizing the East Coast capital of mountain biking right here in Virginia's Blue Ridge. I'd like to recognize our VTC team members here this evening. Katie, Shirley, Teresa, and a champion of Roanoke right here in your beautiful city, the Honorable Ansley Ware, Circuit Court Judge. And John and Lee mentioned the arts, so I must mention that your hometown author, Beth Macy, wrote the book, Dope Sick, and it is worthy of 14 Emmy nominations, and the Emmys will be Monday night in Los Angeles, so we'll be rooting for Beth, right? There's so much to celebrate, and these beautiful women, elite athletes and coaches, they are in for the competition of a lifetime for the road to Paris, and we are so honored to be a part of that story. And boy, we are just getting started. And looking at all the reasons that people love our area, for Virginia being for mountain lovers, for cycling lovers, for outdoor lovers, for foodie lovers, and the list goes on. Everything that we absolutely adore doing and inviting the people that we love to visit us. And it's all about sharing indelible memories with the people that we like to spend time with. So all of this really has put us on the map. We're so proud to be a sponsor. And when we look at promoting Virginia, we know with everyone in the room, it shows why Virginia's Blue Ridge, with Landon and his incredible team. That was 80 years of service up there, you know, with this strong team. So that is very impressive, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference with experience and really having the market savvy to get out there to really showcase this beautiful place. And I tell you, Landon, in your 10 years, you were just getting started. So thank you all.
Rita, thank you so much for the great job that you do with your team at Virginia Tourism Corporation, what you do for the Commonwealth, and of course for VBR, and in particular what you're doing to help us with the support of Team 2024. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you President Frank Shushock. Frank is the 12th president of Roanoke College, of course located in beautiful downtown Salem. He has only been president, of course, for a very short time, but already he's having a great impact, and he is with us tonight to share a very special announcement. President Shushock.
I do have big news for you tonight. It's going to be exciting, and I want to keep you on the edge of your chair for just a minute. I'm just curious, are there any Roanoke College Maroons out there? Yeah, I like to see that. Well, because of the way that I'm going to offer this announcement, I'm going to need your participation. So one of the things that we're working on campus is our cheer. I say, here we go, and you say Maroons. And so at the end of this announcement, I'm expecting you to participate. So can we practice just for a moment? Okay, so here we go. Very good, let's try it one more time. Here we go. You guys are outstanding, and you know Roanoke College Maroons are lovers as well, so I wanted you to know that. Okay, here is the big announcement. Partnerships are something we're very focused on at Roanoke, and I appreciate the collaboration we have with the Virginia Blue Ridge, and I'm grateful for the support of so many of you here tonight. And there's a lot to celebrate in the region, and tonight we're celebrating cycling. I have wonderful news to share for you, for Roanoke College, and for all of the cycling community. And I'm here to introduce our new coach for the Roanoke College Maroons competitive cycling team. And it's our very own alum, Shelly Olds. Yeah, Shelly, stand right here. Now, I'm going to say a little more about Shelly, but while she's here, I want you to show that you're a Maroon. Here we go. Maroon. Here we go. Maroon. I love it. So, Shelly, as many of you know, is amazing. She's a Maroon soccer captain and is a member of the Roanoke College Athletic Hall of Fame. She became a world-class cyclist after graduating in 2003 and earned a position on the U.S. Olympic team to compete in the 2012 London Olympics. Shelly has been a great source of inspiration and information since we decided to launch our cycling team, and she returned in June to help us announce the formation of our team. And tonight, I'm pleased to share that Shelly has moved from Arizona back to Virginia Blue Ridge to coach Roanoke College's competitive cycling team. So many thanks to Scott Allison, our athletic director, and Tom Rambo, our dean of students, and Ken Blair, our vice president for advancement, and so many others who have made this exciting announcement happen. And Shelly, we want you to know we're grateful for you and your commitment to and support of the enthusiasm for the region and Roanoke College, and we're glad that you left Arizona to come home. So here we go. There you go, Shelly.
Thank you. Hello. Okay, let's bring this down. I don't know how I back up those two people, but I'm gonna try. Okay, thank you again for having me. It's really so nice to be back in Roanoke, to be back at the college, and to be in Virginia's Blue Ridge. Arizona was nice, but it was a little hot, it was a little dry. I'm happy to be out of there. But no, coming back always makes me realize what a beautiful part of the country this is. It is amazing. I've been all over the world with cycling, so it really is like no other place in the world. When Dean Rambo approached me about leading the cycling team, I saw it as such an exciting opportunity. It's been 20 years since I graduated, and a lot has happened since then, but Roanoke has always been and continues to feel like a family to me. It feels like I've just come home from a long trip, and I'm being welcomed with open arms. This is an opportunity for me to give back to a community that has given so much to me. And I am thrilled to help start the Roanoke College's first cycling team. I realize that getting it off the ground and to the high level that I envision for it will require a lot of work. But I know that I have the absolute best team of people around me to make sure that that vision becomes a reality. So the moment I stepped on campus, people have been open and willing to helping me, the community too. So I'll share a little story about kind of what's been happening. So behind the scenes, I got here last week and I didn't know if I'd have students. We haven't made it public yet. But there was like word out a little bit that there might be a cycling team. So I've had a couple students come to me and say, hey, is there a cycling team? Like, can we race this weekend? And I'm like, okay. So I go to the athletic director, hey, can I get a van? Hey, where do I get a unit? Where can I get a kit? Like, how do I make this happen? So really how it came together was this person gave me this number from somebody they knew from way back when, or they've been working with for years. Hey, try this lead. So I literally was in my car driving around. It took me 4 hours, which is not a long time at all. But I got a lead for a company called the Black Bibs. So I'm talking about the cycling jersey. I was trying to get a jersey so we can race officially this weekend at UVA. I have three kids racing. One of them has never ridden a bike before, never raced. Doesn't have a helmet, doesn't have shoes. But he's going. I'm putting him in the van and we're going. Doesn't matter. That's how I started. So, you'll figure it out. If you like it, you'll figure it out. So anyways, I go to this Black Bibs company, which I hopefully will partner with to make our kits for the team, the uniform for the team. And they are just a small local company in Roanoke that makes cycling jerseys that you can have done custom for your team, right? So they'll print whatever we decide to put on it. But that would take too long to get done. So Scott Allison, the athletic director, said, hey, I got this woman, Betsy, that I've been working with for years at Soccer Post, and she puts logos on our jerseys for practice. I don't even know if they're official uniform stuff, but she has a bunch of logos. So I text her, and then we get on the phone, and she's like, it's gotta be 100% polyester. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, okay, I'll try to get that. And she's like, and it's gotta be dark, and I only have this white logo and whatever. So I show up there, texting her, I meet her there. She goes to the store. It's special for me. This is the amazingness of the people in this community. First of all, the jerseys, I went there and they just gave them to me. They just said, yeah, go. And now this will be a partnership for sure because they want to see us successful, right? So I go to Betsy. She goes takes me in the back. She's got 3-4 logos. We're mapping. We're looking at it. And I had a Roanoke jersey on that had a nice little logo set up. And she's like, I like what you got there. But we got this Roanoke sign, so we make this jersey, and it ends up being this really cool, really cool. So it's not official. It's not official, but basically my point is that I had to get something together, and only in a place like this can you just get in your car, get a number, follow a lead, and come up with a jersey. And now we will look like an official collegiate cycling team like that. So now the power of teamwork, this is important. The power of teamwork is incredible, and I feel like that we already have such a strong connection of genuine people in this room alone, and that success for this program is inevitable. It's gonna happen because we're gonna make it happen. And what's great for Roanoke College is also great for Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024. Nicola Cranmer is the founder and general manager of Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024 professional women's cycling team. Nicola and I have been friends for a very long time. I could tell you stories that you would love to hear. But she's the reason why I even started this crazy journey into the world of competitive cycling. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for her. Nicola and I started much like the way the team at Roanoke College came about and how it will thrive, with the mentality that where there's a will, there's a way. Nicola has been such a positive influence for women cyclists all over the world and continues to identify talented young women and show them a way to reach their dreams. Many cyclists who have had the good fortune of crossing paths with this amazing woman went on to become world-class athletes and Olympians, including myself. It is my pleasure to turn the podium over to my friend, Nicola Cranmer.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, I have a lot of things to say, but honestly, it's just been such an incredible experience, me being here since February. And thank you, Sam, for the introduction, and it all worked out really well. So, yeah. Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for showing up. And thank you, Shelly, for the introduction. And a lot of you may not know, but yeah, Shelly really is the impetus that my team became a professional team. It started off as a regional team, and it was just kind of a hobby. You know, it was a challenge. I said I was going to start a women's team, and I didn't really know what that meant, but I did it. And Shelly was a new rider at the time, and she grew really quickly into a superb athlete, and so it was time for the team to kind of progress with her, and we did it together. We did a lot of it together. And much like her running around finding jerseys and stickers today, we actually had bake sales, and we put on races at a local velodrome to get to World Cups. We decided we wanted to be on the world stage. We didn't even know how to get there really, but we did it. We figured it out. And that was invaluable, and I wouldn't be here today without you either. So thank you. So as I look into the room, I am seeing a lot of familiar faces, which is great because I'm beginning to feel like a local. I travel a lot, but it's really nice to come back to Roanoke. And I'll be here now for the next few months and get to go out and explore this beautiful countryside that you all have. And I hope you don't take it for granted, because it's pretty spectacular, and it's world-class cycling, great roads, great trails, great gravel, great everything. I mean, it really is the perfect environment for our athletes to thrive. Since our base of operations has moved here, and with the support of the Virginia's Blue Ridge community, and also now with our regional partners, American National Bank, Carillion Clinic, Bergland Automotive, the Roanoke Times, Access, and McNeil Roofing, we have accomplished so much here in the months we've been here, which is actually a really short period of time. And we're going to now just take a quick look at a video to catch up with what we've been up to. So a big thank you to this community. We couldn't have done it without you, and to our regional supporters, and of course Virginia's Blue Ridge, and of course Visit Virginia. So thank you for that. So now I'm moving on to our guest speaker. So our guest speaker and I met in a hotel in Beijing. And funnily enough, Shelly was there at the same time too. It's very serendipitous how we've all come back to be in this room together. So I was in Beijing for a track World Cup, and it was a test event for the Beijing Olympics in 2017. And I met this woman, and she was there doing course recon. So, you know, before the Olympics, she went there to look at the course and the year before, and just really sort of map out her pathway and get to know the terrain before she went on her mission to try and win a gold medal. So fast forward, post-Olympic, she did win that gold medal, and she was planning on retiring right after the Beijing Olympics and her gold medal, and she was going to have a baby. And we had chatted about development, junior development. And she was at a position in her life where she thought she had accomplished everything she wanted to accomplish on the bike. That wasn't true, but at the time she thought it was. And so she said, you know, I really want to work with your team and just give back and teach the next generation how to be, you know, a high-performing athlete. And so she did have a baby. She did become a sports director of the team. And that means basically she goes out on the road with the athletes and teaches them race strategy. And then she decided to come out of retirement another 2 times to win 2 more Olympic gold medals, winning her last medal in Rio in 2016. I could make this story really long, but I'm trying to, like, you know, I mean, there's just so much history. She's the most winning US female Olympian in the sport of cycling, and is a constant mentor and role model for many aspiring athletes. She's a high-performance coach and a dear friend. Please put your hands together and welcome 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Kristin Armstrong.
Thank you. I kind of feel like, I don't know, did I travel from Boise to Roanoke? Am I still in Boise? Because you guys are like family. I mean, Landon pushing dessert on me last night, Lee introducing me to every one of you in this room. I mean, I feel like I'm at home too, Shelly. And I didn't even come, I mean, I'm thinking, am I in the Twilight Zone? I'm not quite sure where I am, but thank you. It is great being here. But to begin, I have a really important question. How did you do it? And I'm referring to, how did you get my best friend and my partner in my Olympic victories, Nicola, to abandon me in Boise, to move out here to Virginia's Blue Ridge? I mean, she bailed. She was like, peace out, Kristin, I'm going to the Blue Ridge. What in the heck? I mean, honestly, I'm just asking this in a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, because even though I've only been here a short time, I am starting to see exactly how you did it. There's no question. I'm looking at this collective vision in so much awe and admiration. I mean, it's just super cool. It really should be a case study for strategically targeted destination marketing. Honestly. I mean, you think about it, it's a group of organizations who have dialed in your competitive advantage. And as far as I can see, you're doing it right. I mean, I've known other towns who have done this, and they raise a bunch of money and they go out and they blow it by building brick and mortar. And it's a tragedy. I mean, I get it. I know what it feels like, because brick and mortar is tangible. Right? We can touch it, we can feel it. But this is actually a huge part of my message this evening. It's what I want to share with you. Because whether you're talking about getting more people to come visit this area, or you're talking about winning Olympic gold medals, it's the intangibles that matter. It's the intangibles that make a difference. And that question that I asked you earlier about how did you do it? I've been asked this hundreds of times over and over as a professional cyclist. People ask me, how did you do it? And I've given a million different answers. But most recently in my life, I've almost been stressed about it. I've taken a lot of time, a lot of bike rides, a lot of walks, and I think about, that is a great question. How did I do it? And I have to say that I'm super excited to share with you tonight. I think I've distilled it. I think I've distilled how I've done it. And it might have taken like 500 phone calls with Nicola, but it really does come down to this concept. And, I go out, I inspire, and I may only have 3 Olympic gold medals, because kids, by the way, ask me, like, well, Michael Phelps has like 500. How many do you have? And I'm like, but you know what? I have a matrix. I am type AAA, and I have a matrix. That's legit. I don't think Michael Phelps has a matrix. And so everything we do in life, it really comes down to 4 ways. And you'll see this. And we can do things in a really flat way, where we put very little energy and effort and will into what we do. And then we can do them in a descendant way, where really none of this matters. We don't really care. We don't have any energy. We don't put any effort into what we're doing. And we can do them in an ascendant way, which is actually, there's a lot of people that do this, and they are achievers. They do it very well. And these people, they make things happen. But here's where we all start to separate. There's a very particular few, who take our energy, our effort, and our will a step beyond. And no matter what characteristic we're talking about here, we transcend. And that's the difference. And that's how I did it. That's how I became an Olympic gold medalist. It's how I came home 2 more times with gold. And that is how Nicola's doing it. It's leading her team that you all have chosen to associate with. That's right. I'm going to spend a couple minutes bragging about my friend here. So, I think she's mentioned, she has sent 14 women that she has had as part of her team to the Olympic Games. 14 women. Have you ever met anybody that has even gone to the Olympic Games? I had never met anybody but myself. I was like the first one I met that went to the Olympic Games. So let's get real, let's put it in perspective. 14 women, out of those 14 women, not every one of them, but some of them have multiple, 14 medals have come out of these 14 women. That's crazy. And so then let's just take a look at put a microscope here on Virginia's Blue Ridge and what's happened. I asked her today, I'm like, when was that meeting? She's like, October. But she moved here a little bit in the wintertime. And since then, she has 2 women juniors going to Australia in a couple weeks for the 17-18 World Championships. By the way, there's only 4 chosen in the nation. So 2 of those. If you saw the national championships out here, there was junior medal galore happening. So Virginia Blue Ridge has already hosted the amateur national championships, the junior national championships. You have a cross race coming up, and if you have your weekend available, that's really where it's at. I'm not telling Nicola this, but it's a real fun spectator sport, that cycling. You have tonight in this room, you have 2 amazing women who have joined Nicola's team. You have Rukhsar, who fled from Afghanistan just 6 months ago. You have Marlise from Cuba, who couldn't get a visa to come here for over a year. But Nicola, she made it happen. And now, they're part of this community. They're going to become familiar faces. You have Jennifer Valente, Olympic gold medalist. She's training for Paris. She just came off of Tokyo. You've had 2 junior camps with over 20 junior women this spring. Roanoke College has the most amazing coach you can even ask for. I coached her, by the way. She's gonna go and cut and paste my training, I know it. By the way, yeah, once you have it, it's always on the software. And then there's several school visits on the calendar. And this is what it's all about. Nicola is a rock star. And as much as I hate the fact that you took her from me, I'm glad that you have her. And even more importantly, I want to pause on this. I'm glad that she has all of you, because that's what's important. And if you look at my beautiful matrix, we're going to hone in here on this last part together. And you can see it's transcending in the way that we live, all right? So this is how we live. And I can go into great detail about how we prepare, how we execute, but tonight I think it just makes most sense to talk about how we live. And this is how we exist from day to day, and how it actually becomes a crucial part of all of our success. And the reason why I'm saying that I'm glad Nicola has you is because when I look around this room, you guys are community. And community has always been a huge thing for me. In fact, I was a military brat. I moved every 3 years of my life, and so community was my only thing. I would move to a town every 3 years. I would join a sports team because that's the only way I met people. Sports was my community. I went off to college. I joined a sorority. Yeah, I was a sorority girl. I know, don't laugh. That was my community. I moved to Boise, Idaho, and they quickly became my community. In fact, so much of my community, I actually joined a local cycling team after I graduated from college, and this is where I got my start. There was a bike race that was the largest, most lucrative bike race in the world. It's kind of like landing in Boise, Idaho. It's like if I said, hey, the largest bike race in the world wants to come to Virginia's Blue Ridge. You guys were like, all right, game on, let's do this. Well, imagine this. They invited the local token team. That was my team, Boise. The Boise team, because our community was so kind, we wanted to invite the local team to compete with the big ones, the big wigs. And so they came. I had been cycling a little bit, and they had come to me, the team, and said, hey, you want to be part of this team? We can do the women's challenge. I was like, not in a million years. Why would I do that to myself? Never. Oh, come on, Kristin, like, so fun. It's so great for our community. And so I was working full time. I took 9 days off of vacation. I took my 5 days off with 2 bumper weekends, so that was 9 days. It was 9 days, and so I got to work. I put my headlamp on every night after work. I rode a route, and then on the weekends, we have mile markers, and I would memorize the mile markers on the route so that when I got dropped, I knew where the finish line was. And so I would do that, and it was race day, and it all began, and by the end of the week, I had 3 professional contract offers. And from that day, my life changed. And it wouldn't have happened without community support. It wouldn't have happened without the bike race coming to Boise, Idaho. It wouldn't have happened with the sponsors, Hewlett-Packard or Rita. All of this happened because of community and their support. And so, yeah, I came home from Athens empty-handed. I didn't win a medal. In fact, a lot of times people don't even know that I went to Athens because I don't have anything tangible in my hands. And I think I did this because I hadn't fully developed what later became so crucial to my success. You see, this first category under how we live, it's called how we create our surroundings. And because I really do believe that we actually create our surroundings, and for sure some level of teamwork is necessary for success, but at the most transcendent level, I believe that it's about creating an entire culture, a community of support. And I look at what you're doing and it feels just so familiar to me because what I feel like in my community of Boise, much the same way as you're wrapping your arms around Nicola and her team, Boise wraps their arms around me and always has. And it's just simply amazing. And you may know that my first Olympic gold medal was in Beijing in 2008, and at the time, I was part of a professional cycling team that demanded a lot from me. I was juggling a professional athlete, that was one role. My other role was I always worked throughout my career, and that was because I actually had to get paid. I had to get paid a living wage. I managed to win, but in part that was largely due to the transcendent way I focused on the other two areas. So it was the way that I prepared and the way I executed. It's just part of my blood, it's what I did. But after Beijing and the World Championships in 2009, I did what no one expected me to do. I retired. A lot of times you don't retire on top of your game. I retired to start a family. So my son Lucas, he was born in 2010, and I had just introduced yet another enormous taxing role to fulfill. And I didn't feel like I was actually done with cycling. In fact, I decided to come out of retirement 22 months before London. And so I needed a team. I needed a team to be flexible. I needed a team that just wouldn't let me juggle all of these crazy things I had in my life. But I needed a team that would actually support me in all these things in my life. And so back in 2007, I met Nicola. She already told you the story. Shelly was there. She was one of the development riders that they were starting to do a track trade team. I was doing my crazy thing in like January in Beijing with my full winter gloves, doing what I do. And so that was the first introduction with Nicola. And then it moved on. I became the director while I was pregnant. Almost had my baby several times, screaming so loud for my riders. But the idea was merging that. What if we took elite riders and we joined them with junior riders? And don't let this leave this room, but the in-between stuff I like to call pack fill. It's kind of needed to have our races, but they're not on the performance trajectory, but they're not young enough to be juniors. They've kind of just been in the sport for a long time. They're kind of this flat, kind of stagnant arena. And so we had a lot that we can share with one another around high performance and around development. And so after this, fast forward, I decided to come out of retirement, and I couldn't have walked on any team because I had Lucas as part of me. I mean, to travel with my family, to show up with my baby, just so you know, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to be in the same hotel room, and especially when you go over to Europe. In Europe, it's a very old school way. In fact, when you do have a child, it's kind of looked upon like, why would you ever continue to race? I needed an environment with my son and my husband that would allow me to thrive. And so what I'm getting at here was the way that the team was structured was such that I could have more than just balance. Balance is necessary for success, but what's necessary for super achievement, to go beyond, to achieve something greater than you ever imagined, is something I like to call multi-directional equilibrium. So you think of balance as, let's think about it as back and forth, left to right. But if you look at multi-directional equilibrium, you're left to right, forward and backwards, you're like all directions. I mean, that's what you need to be. And I can tell you that I still use this concept today because I'm juggling multiple roles. I'm a mom, I'm a coach, I'm an entrepreneur. I opened up 2 gyms during pandemic. Crazy. And it requires me to maintain equilibrium. And a huge part of that is knowing what keeps me there. I know that I have to feel fulfilled. And when I tell people this, I just shorten it to, I have to feel filled. Feel fulfilled, feel filled. And it's just a feeling I get. Because work-life balance is never going to be 50-50. I got news for you. But it doesn't have to be to feel really good about equilibrium. All right? And let me give you a quick example, is I know that if I wake up and I get an hour of activity in a day, and I get to pick up my son from school and debrief with him every day, I can work 12 to 16 hours a day. It doesn't bother me because I'm fulfilled. I feel amazing. but I have to get what's important to me in each and every day. If I don't, I can work 4 hours and I want to take a nap. So back to then, the simplicity and the flexibility, the structure of the team was exactly what I needed for this exact purpose. And I needed it because it wasn't easy. Having a baby wasn't easy. What pregnancy does on your body wasn't easy. And then what was more difficult was convincing they. These are the powers that be, that my body was back and able to go for another Olympic gold. So 2010, I had Lucas. 2011, I was announced to the World Championship team. It was in Copenhagen, September 2011. So I got on a plane and I flew all the way over to Copenhagen, and sure enough, I got a text message from USA Cycling telling me that I was no longer on the team and that they'd meet me at baggage claim to check my bags back in, because they decided that I wasn't going to race. They decided that it wasn't my turn. Let me tell you something about they. They are all in our lives. They don't like us to succeed when things are good. They like to see them poorly. But I'll put it this way. When we have us, we don't care about what they say. Let me repeat that. When we have us, we don't care what they say. So after the disappointment in Copenhagen, I was going to make a statement. In fact, my coach and I had a hashtag called Ruthless Execution. Everything we did, we were going to go out and we were going to win. We were going to crush everything we did. As 2012 got closer, the London Games, I had one last opportunity. You won't believe this, but it was my last opportunity to make it crystal clear that I was the one who should be making this team. It was back in Boise, Idaho. A huge sponsor came in, started a big bike race, one of the biggest bike races yet again in the nation. So I was in the prologue, which is an opening race. It takes about, anywhere between 3 and 7 minutes. I was in the lead. I went around a corner and I crashed and I broke my collarbone. And so the next morning, the headline out of surgery was, "Kristin's out, her dream is over." And they all swarmed me, and they had a lot to say about what they thought. And they said, "We thought that you broke your collarbone." And I said, "Well, yeah, I just actually got out of surgery. I'm here to cheer my teammates on." And they said, "Can we have an interview?" And I said, "On one condition, that you change the headline to Kristin's back. Nothing's going to stop her." And so they had a lot more to say during that time frame. She's too old. She's washed up. She's a glory seeker. I heard it all. And this is just going into London. Here's my point. I leaned on my community, my supportive community, and I needed it more than any time. And I had people I didn't even know battling the internet trolls for me. I had my husband, he doubled as my psychologist. I had Nicola, she was like a special forces soldier. She's like kicking butt all directions for me. So I got my shot. I got my shot in London. And I think you already know what I did with that. And the best part, not only did I get to stand on the podium, I got to stand on the podium with my son. But none of this would have happened, I promise you, without this transcendent level of support and a team that encouraged multi-equilibrium, directional equilibrium, honestly. And as you might imagine, my fun Olympic journey was more of the same. Again, I retired, I didn't race in 2013 or 14, and I had to battle all of the days. It was horrible. This time around, I got arbitrated for 12 hours because they didn't think I deserved it. I was over 40 now, all right? I was over 40. They did a GoFundMe, they raised $20,000 to fight me. I paid $32,000 to make the team. And as we prepared for Rio, we did something a little bit different. It was critical to my success. It was the last component, data-driven confidence. It was critical. It was operating based on data. So let me give you an example of that. The course was really hilly, and so we took my bike, and the weight limit is 15 pounds. Most time trial bikes are 18.5 pounds. My husband had his gram scale out in our garage. He was weighing screws. He ordered screws from Germany to make sure they were titanium. We had a disc wheel. We tested it over and over in the wind tunnel. We gained our confidence all from data. It was data driven. When I was out on the course, my coach was speaking with U.S. Sailing. We knew exactly where the winds were coming off the course. We knew exactly when I turned a right-hand turn, what direction I can push and what direction I could take a deep breath. I had my friend from Boise. He was also my orthopedic, because I've had tons of surgeries. My orthopedic surgeon. We had Joe. My coach sent them out because we get 2 time splits. He said, I need you at the 3K mark, I need you at the 6K mark. They ran out there, running like you weren't allowed out there. They're like running out there. In fact, they didn't even make it to the finish line. The first time check, I was 9 seconds ahead. The second time check, I was 5 seconds down. It was pouring rain. And I'll never forget it. I was a few seconds down at that last time check, 5K to go, and I had to take the risk I've never taken before, descending in treacherous rain, slick roads in Rio. And I got to the final few K. My coach knew, because the finisher had already finished, the finishers, I was the last one to go because I was a reigning champion. And he got on the radio and he said, listen, you're in the medal count. My job's done. You decide what color you want to take home. And I won by 5 seconds in a 43-minute race. So this is the point that I'll make to you. The transcendent form of confidence is confidence that comes from data. What you know with certainty. It allows you to act with clear intention and a knowledge of what is right and what is best. It's all the ways that I lived. I was transcendent. That's how I did it. And so in just a moment, Nicola's going to come back up here. We have a little special presentation, but I just want to share a few more words with each of you. And I hope this brief message will mean something to all of you. And I hope that you'll weigh on the words that I've shared with you this evening. I hope that you'll consider the power of intangibles, and that you'll determine what all of this means for you. And I hope that you recognize that this community is a critical part of the success of Team 2024. You are part of a culture of support for Nicola's team. I'm seeing it happen now, and I can't imagine what's to come. And lastly, I hope that Team 2024 is a crucial part of all of your success, of Virginia's Blue Ridge. And to you young women, sorry. I just want to tell you how many people are watching you. You have hundreds and thousands of young girls that are watching you do what you do, and they're admiring you for inspiration. That is your role. You're already helping establish what you call already America's East Coast mountain biking capital. And along with that comes so much more. You're promoting a rich culture, history, and opportunity that exists right here in your town. You're associating active lifestyle and to a place that welcomes it. In fact, you almost demand it. I mean, you have to be an athletic event to even show up. And you're inviting people to come take a look. And after all, you stole my best friend. And you got me out here. You can ask her. I don't come anywhere. I'm super excited, and I see this partnership. It's going to endure. It's going to thrive because it's mutually beneficial. It's creating something amazing, and someday somebody will ask you, how did you do it? And I hope that you'll say, in all the ways that we prepared, we executed and lived, we were transcendent. Thank you, and best wishes. Thanks. Thank you. So I want to bring Nicola back up here. And we have a special presentation, and I just know that, first of all, with this special presentation, this is going to get really local. And I think this is what Nikki's all about. You know, she's gone from Nicola to Nikki, by the way. After a few months, you get permission. And so I know part of the excitement is Nikki has the most competitive, meaning not just competitive, meaning that they're the best physically, but there are applications after applications that come to Nicola every year to be part of her junior development team. And so everyone wants to be part of this. And I know that when she moved to Boise, she brought on a few riders that were local, because that's what it's all about. You're going into schools, you're the hero, that's what it's all about. And so before we reveal what we want to do this evening, we want to invite two special guests up here this evening. Allie and Tegan Burrow, can you please come join us?
The jerseys. Christine. Oh, Christine. Okay, so tonight is a turning point for the team and for our partnership with Virginia's Blue Ridge. Connecting with community is why we are here. I met these young ladies at Camp Bethel. Our junior team was at a training camp, and they were there with their sister Meg, who's here. Hi, Meg. They immediately impressed me with their good manners and obvious passion for cycling. I got to spend time with them again during Junior National Championships, where they volunteered. They were there every day, all day. They were amazing. More than their accomplishments on the bike, they're a part of a local Roanoke mountain bike team. They showed me great character. They showed me what it's all about. They exude the essence of what we are about: a strong work ethic, good students, and good people. So it's with my greatest pleasure to welcome our first two Roanoke athletes to our 2023 roster. Yeah, it's a race jersey.
All right, thanks again.
Holy cow, I didn't expect all of that. And all of you are going to say, I was there that night. Holy cow. Young ladies, welcome to the team. And, Boise, if you want to kind of translocate over here with your great friends, Kristin. How about another round of applause for Kristin Armstrong? That is just an amazing story. And, I sat there and watched you win on television, cheered for the Stars and Stripes, but I had no idea all the backstory. I had some idea because some of it's trickled out, but to hear it from you tonight was just absolutely amazing. And the way you did that, and then having the baby and the family and the whole 9 yards and just fighting the system, that's as much a win as anything, isn't it? So more power to you. So, Kristin, thank you so much for coming here and blessing Virginia's Blue Ridge with your presence. I know it is difficult to get you to come. So one more time, Kristin Armstrong. Can't believe it. And this team's so small compared to everything we've just done, but I want to let you know we've started a cycling podcast sponsored by Virginia's Blue Ridge. It's called the Rider Up Podcast. And I co-host it with Dan Lucas. Dan, would you stand from Cardinal Bicycle? And that's just totally a volunteer thing that we do to help support cycling in the region. We've had Nicola already on as a guest, and really hope, Kristin and Shelly, that you'd be willing to come on and talk a little bit about what's going on. And everybody on the team is invited to be a part of this podcast. We just want to use it as a mechanism to just get the word out there and let people know what's going on here. We put a stake in the ground, and our cycling resume just gets better and better, and that's just a part of it. But Dan, I saw you sitting there. I didn't even realize you were here tonight, buddy. So I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad to recognize you. We're just about done, folks. I want to thank you all for attending the 35th annual meeting for Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. We especially, of course, appreciate the record number of sponsors that we had for tonight's event. They and our governmental partners have made this celebration possible. As you're leaving tonight, I do invite you to join us downstairs. We do have dessert for you. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity to have your picture taken with Kristin Armstrong, and she'll be downstairs and you'll have that opportunity. It's a rare opportunity. It's Kristin Armstrong is sitting right there. I can't believe it. So let's go downstairs and get a selfie. Thank you for agreeing to that. And lastly, please remember to take the departure gifts that were at your seat tonight. Inside you'll find some great mementos from tonight's event. You will talk about this event for years to come. Thank you all for coming. Go downstairs and get dessert, get your picture taken, and thank you for your support of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. Good night.